This is Rune Burnett. He has 3 fractured ribs and a lot of pain medication in him right now, so I'm going to say what he would say if he could. I'm Susan, his wife. So the NSS convention in 1965 in Bloomington, Indiana, that was already mentioned, is where Rune first met Ron 60 years ago. And the Texas cavers were especially well represented there and made a big impression. One of them, not only for the caver that ate a can of cat food for lunch, Terry Raines there, and it was cheap, but for their presentation describing whole new world of incredible caves in Mexico. So those Mexico presentations dominated the international section that year. And by the end of the convention, Ron, who was there, was leaving for California and coming to Texas. So he joined the AMCS, the Association of Mexican Cave Studies, and started his incredible career in Texas. So Rune and Ron were friends and companions from the start. Their careers were parallel. They were both cavers and especially enjoyed the deep pit caves in Mexico. They're both registered professional archaeologists who work for Parks and Wildlife, full permits for excavations. Ron did prehistoric stuff and he did historical, and they were both river runners. So they had a bunch of experiences together, most successful and rewarding, some mere disaster. So they would call each other for help. So when things went wrong, Ron was there to fix it. And sometimes he'd call Rune. So there was an instance where they were installing the wind generators out in West Texas, just this side of Fort Stockton. And they had flagged both the archaeo sites and the wind generator sites, but they had flagged it with the same color tape. So it wasn't long before the bulldozer driver was digging an archaeo site. So they called Ron, and Ron called Rune and went out to near Fort Stockton and began the mitigation. And it was freezing cold, sleeting, raining. Their transit would get the ice would freeze on their transit, the wind would blow away their paperwork, but they got it done. They were out there for 2 days and got it done because the whole crews to do the wind generator installations were like waiting, frozen. Just a couple of quick stories. So the other one was running the Soto La Marina with the white-winged dove expert with Parks and Wildlife, Gary Waggerman. So Rune got Ron to canoe with Gary. He wasn't that experienced, so Ron took good care of him. And we put in below the dam near Victoria, started down the river, turned the corner, waved by to our shuttle driver, turned the corner, and there wasn't any water, except for pool drops. So we could canoe across the pools, and we had to walk and drag the canoes across the rocky drops. So we did that for way too long. And then we found the spring. We got to the springs, and it was really wonderful water. The whole way there were ticks, tons of ticks, every day, thick with ticks. So we pick ticks at night and pull our canoes during the day. And finally, we got to better water, but then all the villages had put in water pumps and wire and all kinds of stuff in the river, and there was tons of cane, and you couldn't see where you were going, and you couldn't tell what was going to be there. So we abandoned the trip and went back to Victoria. So Ron was on our first multi-day canoe trip for any of us on the Pecos River, where we had no idea what we were doing in the 70s, I guess, but we kind of figured it out as we went. I think Pam was on that too.
Oh yeah.
And then another abandoned trip was the Caves Branch in Belize, where the river came up. We were in the cave, and Logan McNatt, who was with us, could tell that it was higher water than he'd ever seen, and he was afraid it was going to sunk. So we were at the last point where we could get back out, got back out, walked out. Yeah.
Holding onto this side, walking way back upstream.
Yeah. So Ron's a great person to have on stuff like that. Confident. And then the NSS convention in Bracketville that Jay talked about, Rooney and Ron got the Devil's Sinkhole opened, which hadn't been opened for years for cavers, and they got Andy Sansom, the executive director, to give the opening remarks there. And another little tiny funny thing is Ron, after they bought their house, where y'all are now, I think, he came to get Rooney's riding lawnmower, and he said, and they were talking about mowing the grass, and Ron said, "This is never gonna end, is it?" He said, "No." I just thought, oh, poor guy, he's not used to this. So at the end, Rooney was very sorry not to see him receive the Lifetime Achievement Award from the Historical Commission, named after another good friend, Curtis Tunnell, because Ron really deserved it. So, what it feels like with Ron gone is the world is quieter. It's less dynamic. It's missing a force to charge on, get things done, clean up, fix up, manage, organize, lead. So we say rest well, Ron. You